One of the people forced to flee, Ukrainian journalist Alia Chandra, who fled with her husband and two small children from Kyiv. And the editor-in-chief of the independent news outlet Euromaidan Press joins us now from Lviv. Alia, thank you so much for joining us again. You've been moving so many people with your updates from the ground. What can you tell us about the experience there in Lviv? Once thought to be safe, we know that Russia has now been bombing targets farther west. What does it look like there to you now?
Well, I'm standing in a residential neighborhood, and the windows all around me, they are taped. They have these X's on the windows that will prevent them from breaking after a strike. So the city is aware that it might not remain peaceful for much longer. But, you know, I think what is really important to be stressed is that I have heard today in this report that NATO does not want a World War III to start, that NATO does not want the conflict to go beyond Ukraine. But the conflict, it's very naive to think that, because Russian propagandists, as we speak, they're talking about in their shows about a possible strike on NATO countries, on the Baltics, on Romania, and Poland. And the majority of Russians approve of these strikes, as independent polls show. I think it is incredibly naive to think that the conflict will stop somewhere in Ukraine. And frankly, I do not know what NATO is waiting for. It's looking at all the suffering that is going on. I have seen the heartwarming acceptance of refugee children into schools right now on this network. But, you know, we should not be in a situation where refugee mothers are teaching refugee children in schools somewhere thousands of kilometers away from the bombed out houses. The world can stop this. All we need is some action now.
Well, President Biden, in a matter of minutes, will be flying wheels up from Washington, D.C., headed to Brussels to meet with the leaders of those NATO countries, just as you've described. What would you like them to discuss, and what would you like to see come out of that meeting as you ask for more?
Well, I know that there are plans of Poland to supply a peacekeeping mission to Ukraine. And mission, several NATO countries have expressed their support, but we also know that Poland will not approve of this mission without the if the U.S. does not give its approval. So I would like to ask President Biden to just facilitate any kind of mission that will allow the evacuation of our civilians along humanitarian corridors, that will close the sky above the large cities in order to stop this horrible civilian suffering that the world can stop. It has the equipment to do so.
Alia, if you could explain what you're seeing and experiencing where you are, a mother of two with another baby on the way. Would love to hear more about your own personal experiences as well, along with your husband, who I know also is staying in Ukraine.
Well, you know, we've been relatively spared. We got out in the early days, but I am scared to think what would happen if we would not. I know that around 20 children have been killed in my native Kyiv. I see every day as neighborhoods are being bombarded and incinerated for no purpose whatsoever. I've seen a shopping mall just being obliterated. A friend of my colleague in Euromaidan Press, she was caught by a missile strike in Chernihiv. They barely got her out alive to Kyiv, to a hospital, but she has to have her leg amputated. A girl that has an amputated leg survived miraculously because of Russia's insane attack on Ukraine. So, of course, for me personally, it is just, my heart bleeds when I think about all the suffering that my people are experiencing for absolutely in this unprovoked attack. And that the world could stop, but it is just watching right now.
Alia Chandra, thank you so much for sharing your story and your insights. Please come back. We really appreciate your being on this morning.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.